He sees you when you're sleeping.
He knows when you're awake. He knows if you've been bad or good. So be
shut
good
your mouth.
Oh, God.
Shut your mouth.
Shut your filthy mouth.
Oh, no. Santa's here.
Not again.
Come here.
All the elves work for Santa because they're afraid of Santa.
Yeah, I'm almost done with that toy. Well, get it done faster.
Do you want to see your family again? It's alive. It's alive. Hello, you beautiful freaks, and welcome to a brand new Christmas-filled episode of FREAKQUELS. I'm EJ Leeson, your host with the most-ish. And with me today, my co-host, the most beautiful man that ever walked the earth, Rory and. How are you, sir?
Are you giving them that title officially?
Yeah, that's how you told me to introduce you.
I gave him a sack of money.
And notes. You're like,
notes.
I only accept these introductions anymore.
He had his own stuff, and I was like, no.
No.
You need a rewrite.
Let me rewrite this for you. Yeah. But what's up, bud?
Not much. I'm really excited today because we have two guests on.
Yeah.
Fan favorites, as they say.
Fan favorites.
So it's like
love
the
these
Frequents got like a little bit of a Christmas present.
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
For the holiday episodes, we've just been pulling in some heavy hitters.
Yeah.
And these two are fan favorites. First up, this man, he's beautiful, just like his uncle, and one of the coolest guys I know, Mr. Shane Purdy. What's up, dog?
No, what's going on with you guys?
Nothing, man. What's new?
You know, the same stuff, working, hanging out, being a dad, doing Christmas stuff,
Heck yeah.
Good
Hell
stuff.
yeah, man.
Yeah.
I wish I knew where my kids were.
Yeah, I know, dude. Well, only one I found, that's it.
Yeah. It's funny because someone asked me the other day, like, do you have kids? I said, most likely.
Most likely.
It's like It's Always Sunny when they're talking to Maniac. It's like, God, do you have kids, Maniac? No, not anymore.
Oh my God.
Luckily.
And again, a fan favorite, one of the coolest kids we know, Mr. Leo Purdy. What's up, bud?
Sup, man?
How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How about you?
Good. What's new since we've seen you last?
Not much.
Nothing too much?
Yeah.
Just chilling like usual?
Yeah.
Just like what have you been occupying your time with?
Well, I've been practicing a song.
Ooh,
yeah?
Really?
Yeah.
Which song?
It's called Santa Claus is Coming.
Okay.
And I'm going to sing it for all of you in the audience.
Okay. Let's hear
Let's hear it.
You better watch out. You better not cry. You better not pout. I'm telling you why. 'Cause I'm gonna kill you. Oh, I'm gonna kill you. Fuck.
Yeah.
Well played, sir.
That was hard, dude.
You know, I was
that better than the original.
I wasn't expecting you to do that. And I'm so grateful that you did.
Me too. That was great.
Awesome.
But yeah, so what are some new movies you guys got to see recently?
Starting with you at the end of the table down there.
New movies. Dude, I'm drawing a blank. It's been just like Christmas reruns for the past 2 months.
Yeah.
Or for the past month.
Unacceptable. We need a title.
The last movie that I seen for the first time was Joker Filet Deuce or Filet Deuce or
Filet of fish.
Filet of Fish. There we go.
Filet of Deuce.
I went and saw that.
Filet of Deuce.
That was
Filet of what the deuce?
really what we do around Christmas, dude. Is we get a big bucket of Christmas movies and we'll just watch a new movie every day, or we'll pick something. But I've already seen all of the movies that are in the damn bucket. So,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I do that, but like a bucket of alcohol. I just
As you
kind of
should.
reach in, and whatever I grab is going to be the thing that keeps down all the things that are killing me inside.
Good.
Blue Moon.
Yeah. That is.
And then you recently just met two people from Christmas Vacation.
Oh yeah, we met Chevy Chase and Beverly D'Angelo.
How was that?
How was that, Leo?
It was awesome.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How was Chevy Chase?
He was actually nice to me, probably because I'm a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got him figured out.
Yeah.
How about Beverly D'Angelo?
She was nice. She was pretty. She was.
She quiet.
She was quiet. She didn't really
She
talk
was
much.
quiet,
But
oh.
Chevy Chase did that, like that old people thing where they kind of pretend they're Daffy Duck and they're, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
That's what he was doing to Leo, like just doing something
Yeah.
stupid, making him laugh, which
Yeah.
I thought was cool. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
that's awesome. That's
But yeah,
really cool.
he wasn't
Yeah.
bad. He was. Tomorrow we're going to see like the Macaulay Culkin Home Alone tour thing.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
I heard about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm considering, because it's like $150 for a photo op to meet Macaulay Culkin, but it's like per person. So it hits you
Oh.
with that. So I'm thinking about just sending Leo in to meet him, you know what I mean? And like,
Yeah.
that'd be awesome for him. That's like his favorite Christmas
You didn't
movie
tell
ever.
me about that.
Well, I kind of, now I did, but
No,
I'm
you
thinking
didn't.
about doing that. It's not set in stone, dude.
Well,
Yeah, I'm
Merry
thinking-
Christmas.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, Merry Christmas, fellas.
Yeah.
Have a Merry Christmas, everyone. And a Happy New... I think you guys are trying to make me say something dark, but I don't got anything.
You gotta dig deep.
And a Happy Blue Moon.
All right. There you go.
There we go.
And then what about you? Have you seen any new movies, Leo?
Well, on Saturday, I watched this movie called Santa's Sleigh.
Yes, with Bill Goldberg.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like where like Santa's the son of the devil and stuff, and he's like on a rampage and stuff.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, it's really awesome.
Rory and I watched that. I don't know if you remember that. Chris Conforti brought it one year.
Oh, we did.
Yeah, we watched it.
It
Yeah.
came out in 2004, I think.
Yeah.
Dude, if you didn't bring that up, I would have completely forgotten.
Really, like, wait, what?
Like, my brain pushed it out.
Oh no, I remember you not really feeling it at the time.
Yeah.
I think like if you revisit it, maybe you'll have like some more favor with it. But
Yeah.
but I remember you watching it and going, "All right, let's watch something else now."
Was I wearing a scarf at the time? I'm like, that's not cinema.
Yeah.
That's not cinema for me.
No.
Yeah.
You threw a hot coffee at it.
I did.
Just total Karen that
Friend,
day.
Francois Truffaut says no.
Like, can I speak to the manager? Chris was like, what? But yeah,
What?
so Santa's Sleigh, did you like it?
Yeah, I liked it.
Lots of fun.
It was lots of fun. It was really funny. And I liked it.
How about you, Rory?
I don't remember anything. I should revisit it. I really don't. I don't remember a single frame. But I will rewatch it someday because, you know,
Yeah.
I got nothing else to do. No friends, no family. But I did another one. I did
Yeah.
another thing where you suggested a movie to me some time ago, and I gave it a shot.
Yeah.
I watched
Really?
Orpheus.
Oh my God. Did you love it?
You know what? It's one of those movies that I loved the more I thought about it.
Yeah.
Because as I was watching it, I was like, okay.
Yeah.
And then I thought about it, I'm like, oh, this is actually like a really good movie.
Yeah.
You know?
And the special effects for its time
Neato.
are pretty rad.
Great
Yeah.
little French film.
Yeah. I love that
Look
movie.
up Orpheus for all you people that haven't seen it.
It makes a brief cameo in Gremlins, too.
Yeah.
The first Gremlins.
I
yeah.
think that's why I watched it.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Because you're like, wait. is
no,
that in
you
there?
brought it up on the episode, and I was like,
Yeah.
because I had like a huge stack of Criterion movies I'm trying to burn through right now.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, that was in Gremlins. I guess I should watch it. EJ brought it up, and I thought it was very good. And then I watched Psycho again
Oh, great movie.
because Psycho. Did you ever see Psycho, Leo?
Oh, yeah, I love that movie.
Do you?
Mhm.
Hey, awesome. That's one
remake,
of my favorite. The Gus Van Sant, the Gus Van Sant joint.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's actually one of those movies I watch whenever I need like a creative reset. Like I watch it because it's just like one of the most incredible movies ever made.
It's so good.
It's
it
like-
really is incredible.
I was like talking about this with Becca last night. That sequence between like Norman and Marion when they're just in that parlor, that
Yeah.
conversation they're having, the way everything's staged, the shot choices, the fact that like everything he's saying is kind of informing her next steps, like kind of making her go inward and maybe wanting to like go back and fix the mistakes that she made. She doesn't get to, but like everything that's being said and not said in that scene, it's probably my favorite dialogue scene of all time. Yeah, I would say so. And also Anthony Perkins as Norman Bates, probably my favorite maybe movie character ever.
The boyish kind of.
He's so good.
So good.
He's just so like likable.
So good.
And some of the people during that time, like Sam kind of does this in the movie, Sam Loomis.
Yeah.
They all kind of talk like this sometimes. You know?
Like they're a product of their time, and then Anthony Perkins was like bringing in like a new
level.
Yeah.
It's so naturalistic and like it's such a beautiful performance, and it's so iconic, you know?
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome stuff.
Yeah.
But as far as that goes, I just watched more American movie clips. Hey everybody, watch American movie. How about you, EJ? What the fuck did you watch?
I saw Y2K.
Sorry, swearing.
I don't care.
Okay.
I don't care.
I've been rewatching, like some Christmas classics and stuff, and not only for the podcast, but in general, like Die Hard, Last Christmas. I really love that movie.
Great
The Emily Clark movie?
Yeah,
I
love that movie.
That was fun.
It's so great. Yeah. It's still great. I just rewatched it.
I think amazing. I saw that movie. I watched that one first. I went to the theater to see it when it opened, and then Dr. Sleep immediately afterward.
Oh, really? That's amazing.
Back to back.
That's a good
double feature.
Couple hours at the movies. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I love that movie. I saw it like a few times in theaters. In theaters, what I've recently went to see was Y2K. I'm such a huge fan. I think next year for New Year's, that will probably be a movie we will probably cover.
Is it a horror film?
Y2K.
Yeah. It's like
it's
basically
real.
if Y2K really happened and the machines rose up and
I'm hooked.
Yeah.
Microwave
you got
your
me.
head.
And it's a lot of fun.
You got my money.
Yeah, and it just the music is like all like new metal, the product of its time.
Metal Messiah Jon Snow.
I want him to see this movie so bad, just so I could hear if he likes. He should be our guest for that movie.
Okay.
Specifically, yeah. But
John, you're booked a year from now.
Y2K is real.
Y2K is real. But the movie is really funny, and then it has like great moments of humor and horror. The machines are all practical, so it's like men in like these giant robotic like things, because it's like the technology is like all meshing together, kind of creating like one big monster thing. So it's like a guy in a suit, and it looks awesome. It's really cool. But anyway, so that is all I got to see.
Cool.
Recently.
Yeah.
Cool. Really loved Y2K, and I can't recommend it enough. I don't think it's going to last long in theaters, because I don't think a lot of people are going to see it, unfortunately. So that's why I'm kind of...
Well, they got my money coming their way.
Yeah.
I got to be a pusher. I'm
Cha-ching.
pushing it. But the writer and director is Kyle Mooney from SNL, and he's hilarious. But let's get into the movie we're going to talk about today, which is a pick. Leo actually picked this movie, right?
Yep.
And how did you see this movie for the first time?
So the first time I watched it was last year in 2023.
Okay.
And we were just thinking about like Christmas movies, and my dad was like, "Oh, want to watch this movie?"
That's what I sound like.
I'm like, "Oh, what is it?" And it's like, "Oh, it's called Better Watch Out." And I'm like, "Okay, let's watch it." Just from that title, I'm like, "Let's watch it."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was pumped. I saw this movie, I think it was like 2020.
Yeah.
Or 2021. It was definitely right around when it first came out. And I remember telling Chris Conforti about it and being like, dude, you got to watch this movie. It's actually pretty cool. It's almost like a different take on something, right? And I don't want to like give out spoilers. There's something that happens in this movie, and I straight up want to say from the beginning, watch this movie first and then maybe listen to the podcast, because there's a huge spoiler that is so good.
Yeah, I'm with you on this 100%. If you haven't seen the movie, watch the movie.
Yes.
Put in the description.
Yeah, just watch this movie first.
Which we never do.
So Leo, here's a funny thing.
Yes.
We watch a lot of trash on the show. It's a true story.
Yeah.
It's true.
So like, it was this funny thing because your father messaged me and he's like, "Oh, Leo wants to do Better Watch Out," and I've never seen it before, right?
Yeah.
So I didn't even look it up. I didn't look into anything with the movie. I just popped it on.
Yeah.
And this movie was so funny to me because it started off and I was like, "Oh, I know what this is. Like this is going to be like a home invasion movie. You know, the babysitter and the kid, like they get together and they got to stick to." And the movie completely shifted on me.
Yeah.
And like I was so stunned by like where it went that I was like, when I see Leo, I just gotta tell him, like, awesome job picking this movie out. Like, I was just like, wow, like, you like completely like threw a curveball at me.
Yeah, like when last year when my dad talked about it, he was like, "Oh, it's kind of like Home Alone if it was a horror movie," and I was like, "Okay," so like I thought
For two people, it is a horror movie.
Yeah, I thought it was like gonna be like like the two robbers that are like killing people. They gotta like survive. And, like, kill them. But instead, it just shifts to a whole new and disturbing movie.
Yeah, and it's awesome because I'm not generally surprised by that, like movies like that anymore.
Yeah.
But to me, it was like Home Alone meets this German movie, Funny Games. Did you ever see that?
Yeah, that's a great. I think that's a perfect reference.
But like, I was just kind of like, wow, like you've that was just like a really interesting choice that I wasn't expecting.
Yeah.
So like, when you just real quick question, and we can jump into the movie.
Yeah.
Like, what about this movie jumped out at you?
So usually when I watch horror movies, I'm like, okay, it was good, but it didn't really faze me.
Sure.
This movie, at the end of it, I felt disturbed and uncomfortable at the end.
But you did you reacted to when it turns, right? Like that jumped out at you.
Yeah, I was like, okay. What?
I think you have a really good eye for movies.
Yeah.
That's just from talking to you. I've been kind of gathering that, where I'm just I think you should stay in the film lane, because I think you got a thing. So, because again, I was just watching this movie. I'm like, that's so cool that he picked this specific movie.
Yeah.
So good job. You picked a movie that actually impressed me.
Yeah.
Unlike most
I know it just sounds like I'm harping on this a lot, but I was literally watching it and I'm just like, wow, thank God that I just was proven wrong by a film.
Yeah.
I was getting ready to just rip this movie apart the way it starts, and then I'm like, oh, I just got bitch slapped.
Yeah, he really, literally, it's like Luke when he bitch slaps.
Yeah.
It hits you.
But I wouldn't have ever
way.
probably watched it if you hadn't suggested it, so thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah, no, when we first got here, Rory's like, I cannot wait to talk about Better Watch Out. That hit me. It was like a Godsmack kind of you were just blown away by it.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, man, it's so good. But yeah, this movie is a great pick. And so when he was like, we're going to do Better Watch Out, I'm like, oh, cool. I can't wait to do that. I love that movie.
What is that?
Yeah. This is probably the third time I watched it, too. Yeah. I really liked it a lot. Like I said, I saw it when it maybe 2020.
Yeah.
And then and then I rewatched it again, and then this is my third time now.
It was never released in theaters or nothing, right? It was like a Netflix
No.
movie or something.
Yeah, it never was released in theaters.
What a crime.
I know.
Yeah.
It's insane. It was one of those things I just came across. I love Christmas horror movies.
Yeah.
And I saw Better Watch Out. I'm like, I'm going to check this out. And I knew the one actor, Dacre Montgomery, was in it.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, cool. I just saw him in Power Rangers. And I know he's going to be in Stranger Things and stuff. So I was like, I'm going to check this out. And man, I'm so glad I did.
Yeah.
It was crazy. I worked with a kid actually a couple years ago, when this movie came out. And like I'm not just saying this, like he was the exact doppelganger of that main kid from this movie.
Oh my God.
Like I mean, like I would show people the pictures and they're like, dude, that is him. Eye color, hair curls, all of it. The
I know
exact
what
same.
you son
Yeah,
of
I think for a second I was like, dude, were you in that movie? Like honestly, like you could tell.
Are
me.
you
'Cause
that kid?
It was that close.
What if he
dude.
just looked at you
Yeah.
and he's like,
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
Like,
he's just like-
like, this is where he ended up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
he's just like, you know what, man, I like you, but you're asking too many questions.
Yeah.
Now, the cool thing is the actress Olivia DeLonge, I think her name is. She was in Elvis with Austin.
She was.
Butler.
She was Priscilla.
Yeah. She was great. She's in The Visit, which I really
Yeah,
like
the
that movie a lot.
Shyamalan movie.
M. Night Shyamalan, yeah.
Yes.
And got it, nailed it.
I'm like a big fan of him.
Me too.
I know people like, you know, you hear the meme, the stupid meme of like, what a twist.
what a twist.
But like, it's very reductive. I think that guy is so awesome at taking big swings. Even if like the idea doesn't always land, he's taking weird shots,
Yeah.
right? And he's like his last movie I thought was great.
Oh yeah. The Trap.
No one liked it except us.
Right.
But I like it, M. Night Shyamalan a lot. I think
Me too.
he's a really, at this point, weird to say, very underrated.
I think so too.
He started off as like, they were like, he's like the new Hitchcock, and now they're like, he's seen Hitchcock.
We're not sure where he's at now.
Yeah, he's
Because he kind of had like I think a renaissance a
Sure.
little bit. The last couple movies have been really awesome.
strong.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah. And then the other kid was in The Visit, Garrett. He was in that M. Night Shyamalan movie too. He was like the little brother. And then other than that, like there's not a lot of big stars except of course Virginia Madsen,
Patrick
and
Warburton.
Patrick Warburton.
We're gonna talk about him.
Oh yeah, the
love
parents
him.
are
Yeah.
pretty great in this.
But it was funny because I didn't know that she was in there, Virginia Madsen.
Yeah.
and she was just up at the friggin' drive-in.
I know the NEPA Horror Fest.
Yeah, I was just like,
And-
it was like weird because I was like just like talking to her.
Yeah.
And then I was like, they popped this movie on. I'm like, yeah,
And she's great in this. I think
she's
really,
always, yeah, she's really
always
quality.
awesome.
Like, I know we haven't covered it yet. I would love to cover it, but Candyman,
Yeah.
R.I.P. Tony Todd, but she's awesome. Like she's great in that film. That movie in general, I can't wait to cover that someday.
Yeah.
The
That's-
Candyman.
You like Candyman?
I like Candyman. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
it's
never
pretty
watched
awesome.
it, but
No?
I do want to watch it.
Yeah,
I
it's
never
fun.
watched it. Though.
It's really good. It's
Yeah.
a really, really effective movie.
Yeah, Candyman.
Did you guys see that remake a couple years ago? That Candyman.
Yeah.
It's
I,
Do you like it?
I loved it.
pretty good.
I
Yeah.
thought it was alright. I got so bait and switched. I went in
Yeah.
there for some reason. I don't know why. I think I didn't watch the trailers or whatever, but I thought it was like Tony Todd was going to be Candyman again, and I'm hyping the whole time.
You got some other guy.
Yeah, some other guy.
Wow,
Candyman.
wow, wow, wow.
Literally, that's literally what it was.
I mean, he did have that cool, spoiler.
He's-
cameo or
yeah.
whatever at the end, but
He's like the actor that played the Candyman in it. He was very good, but Tony Todd had like
Yeah.
a real presence,
For sure.
great voice,
Yeah.
and that height and everything. Like it
Yeah.
was just like he was born to play that character.
yeah.
Yeah.
But we're not here to talk about Candyman.
No, we're here to talk about Better Watch Out.
Yeah.
So, yeah, let's get into it. So the film begins with this kid destroying a snowman. It reminded me of Gremlins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we also see a very good dog actor,
Yeah, absolutely.
and shortly after that,
a good cat
a
actor.
good cat actor. And I'm just like, I already love this movie.
Meow.
Yeah, they made that sound, yes.
Yeah.
But there's cats, there's dogs, there's a decapitated snowman. What else do you need for a
Yeah.
Christmas
Yeah,
movie?
man.
Yeah. And
Like-
it starts off strong.
got the whole starter pack.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
So we see like a glimpse into this very nice, peaceful kind of neighborhood. And that's when we meet Ashley, who's driving along. She almost hits a cat, but she breaks for cats, and immediately you're
You're
like,
just like, I
"She's
want you
cool.
to survive.
She's awesome.
I like you, Ashy.
Yeah, you're
or
all right.
Ashley.
Ashy Slashy.
Slashy.
Hey,
Ashy.
guys.
But she is on the phone, and she's like talking about how she is about to move away. And we'll get back to that in a little bit.
Yeah.
But that
She's moving
night,
on with her life.
she's moving out to Pittsburgh, kind of moving on, and
leaving a small town behind her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that night we meet two friends, Luke and Garrett. They're 12-year-olds. And they're
You're a
hanging
12-year-old, aren't you, sir?
Yeah, I am a 12-year-old.
Yeah.
Couple months, I'll be 13.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Wow. So you're.
Crazy.
It's funny.
Still got a couple more months to pull
Yeah,
this
like-
kind of crap, huh?
7 months.
It's crazy to like. They're like, oh yeah, we're 12 years old. I'm like, I don't think they're 12 years old. There's
I know,
no way.
Yeah, no, they're like 15 years old.
Yeah.
Becca said that. She's like, why does that kid need a babysitter?
Yeah, that's what Nina said too.
He's like 16.
He's got like crow's feet.
Like smoking pot.
It's crow's feet. So he's a little salt and pepper up there.
A little boy. Played by a 40-year-old man.
But they're hanging out, and Luke and Garrett are their names, and they're in Luke's house. And they're hanging out. They're talking about paint cans and Home Alone and how it's not practical. Like, one thinks, it would kill someone. The other one's like, no, it wouldn't. But then eventually they talk about how Luke has a crush on his babysitter, which is Ashley, who we just recently met. And Luke's parents are getting ready to leave, and they have this great conversation about Patrick Warburton plays the father, and she's like,
Pete.
yeah, I love how he's like a metrosexual, and which is hilarious. And then as they're getting
Patrick
to leave,
Warburton, by the way, whenever he shows up in movies,
he's so good.
he's
Every
great.
time. Scream 3, he
I was
just
gonna
shows
say
up.
he's in Scream 3.
Yeah, and he's just like in the movie
I
for
do
like,
drop.
I do drop. You forgot.
I'm going to say it.
Yeah.
Patrick Warburton, if you're listening to this podcast, if you'd like to be on this podcast, just know you're welcome to do it anytime.
Yeah,
Yeah.
what Leo said.
We want to introduce every episode. That's great for us.
What if he like showed up here one day? It's just like,
Hey, what's up, guys?
Leo
the
invited me.
episode.
You gotta make sure you ride Soren when you go to Disney.
Yeah.
What's that?
You gotta make sure you ride Soren when you go to Disney.
Soren was that?
Soren.
Yeah, it's in Epcot, right?
It's an Epcot, but
Yeah.
like he's the guy.
He's
Oh,
like
really?
The,
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
like the safety
And you don't expect
manual
it to be
guy.
him in it. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's like the guy who reads the instructions to you. It's
Oh, weird.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
cool.
Make sure not to put your feet up. Yeah.
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 Make sure your seatbelt is tucked tight.
Yeah.
Yep. So they're getting ready to leave, and that's when Ashley arrives for her shift to babysit Luke. And we learn she's going to move to Pittsburgh in a couple days. And I love that the parents, Virginia Madsen and Patrick Warburton, they have like amazing chemistry.
Yeah.
And they're not in this movie a lot. Like this is like they have like 2 scenes, this and when they get home later on.
They had
Right?
them for like 2 scene money.
Right, 2 scene
Yeah.
money, and they crush it, and they have so much chemistry just for like 1 scene. You're like, yeah, this is a married couple. I
Yeah.
feel like they're really good. Yeah.
It's weird. The movie really does a good job manipulating you.
Oh, 100%.
The house, the parents, the bedrooms.
The
It's all
kid.
Yeah.
very like Americana.
Yes.
Very like safe neighborhood.
Yeah.
Like you don't want to see anything happen to these people. That it's
Yeah.
looking after you know where it goes. You look back on it and you're like, good job subverting my expectations.
But
Yes.
since this is a horror movie, bad things happen.
It's
Yep.
true. It's true.
So at one point, Virginia Madsen's like, yeah, when he goes to bed, just put this pencil on the door. He's been like sleepwalking lately, and I have to bring up something. One thing I need to ask: what is up with the doorknobs in this house?
Yeah, dude.
Dude,
Did you
my
guys
mom
notice?
said that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you notice that they're like at literally like shoulder length?
Yeah.
They're nuts, dude.
They're like literally up to the character's shoulders, where
Yeah.
they have to like reach up
Who
to
built
like.
this house?
Yeah, I was like,
No, they're
what?
like taller than the kid.
Yeah, I'm like,
true.
what is going
It'd
on?
be funny, like, he was like the doorknob, he had to get like a ladder.
Yeah.
Basically, like if all right, so Leo,
Imagine needing
you would have to be like standing on
Yeah.
your tippy toes to probably get it.
Yeah,
It was
I did-
insane.
Imagine needing to unlock it.
Yeah, exactly.
They probably just didn't trust the kid when he was little. He was always up to no good, so they
Yeah.
installed
Yeah.
it real high so we couldn't get in the rooms. And you know.
They made the
Yeah.
right call with that kid.
That fucking kid. So they
kid.
leave, and we see Luke, who's 12. He pops a bottle of champagne, and starts drinking it in front of Ashley. And Ashley is like, that's not really cool. Like, stop. You're like 12 years old.
Yeah.
It's also one of the first times you see how this kid operates.
Yeah. Oh,
Like,
yeah.
It's just like that audacious sort of thing that he's got going on. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's because, again, it's like the first time you watch it, you just think he's like, oh, he's just trying to act like an adult.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, actually, I was saying it back while we were watching it. Like when he's like trying to like put moves on her and stuff, I was having a hard time watching the screen because I felt so bad for him. And then like 20 minutes later, I'm just like, oh, this kid. But like just like that drinking, you know, the champagne, like the
Yeah,
just
he's
like
trying
that.
to be cool to like impress her,
Yeah.
and she's just not into it. You know, she
12-year-olds.
actually takes the
Stop
bottle
it.
off of him, and but at one point they start to watch a really basic horror film. It looks awesome, by the way. I was like, I kind of want to see that.
It looks like they just shot it like real quick.
Yeah, it
Like
looks
over
like
a
it was
weekend.
shot on like no lighting except like the porch lighting, and it was like, okay.
Once again, a thing where
awesome.
all you had to do was just not show the screen.
Oh,
Just
exactly.
sound effects.
Yeah.
Because I'm looking at that and I'm like, you guys didn't have the license for like a movie, so you shot one.
Right.
It looks weird. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's fine though. It's charming.
So the two start watching this basic horror film, and Luke asks, he's like, why do you date like so many jerks? Why are you dating Ricky? And why did you date Jeremy?
Because it's garbage day.
Because it's garbage day.
Yeah, she's dating Ricky.
Yeah, and Ricky, we get to meet in a little bit, and Jeremy. And then she's, you know, he's not wrong. They're kind of like, I don't know, beneath Ashley a little bit, right?
Yeah.
I
She's
don't know.
slumming.
She's slumming. So that's when the pizza arrives. And Ashley is confused because no one ordered a pizza. Boom, the room. Did you order a pizza? I already ordered a pizza. But as they eat pizza and bond. Wait, did you ever see The Room?
What? The room?
Room?
Oh no.
Oh my god.
But
One day.
I like the part where she's like, or the guy's like, all right, have a nice night. Okay, bye.
Like she got freaked out, but yeah.
Yeah. she's like, "What?"
Question. Who's that supposed to be?
I don't know.
What, the pizza,
pizza
person?
guy.
I think I think the kids already ordered the pizza. So
The kids ordered the pizza.
Yeah.
So that's the legit
yeah.
pizza man?
Yeah.
yeah.
'Cause he was
Okay.
Even though he
pizza
comes
man,
off
right?
like real creepy and
Yeah,
weird.
like he's never
Yeah.
experienced a human being before.
You don't even
Yeah.
see his face at all. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Because she's just like immediately like, oh, I'm shutting this door like
Yeah.
right now.
By the way,
Yeah.
she I don't like. I mean, she is a little concerned, but she feels way too calm. She's like, oh, pizza and
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then she takes the Santa and gets rid of the Santa because that
Oh yeah.
is also terrifying. Yeah.
Oh yeah, she backed into the Santa.
Yeah,
Like,
it's-
this creeped me out.
What's
Put
going
us on the
on?
porch.
That is a very disturbing looking Santa.
Yeah.
Yeah, to her credit, it
I
is. a
thought
creepy
Santa was
looking-
supposed to be appealing to kids.
Yeah.
That looks like something you'd see in your nightmares.
Yeah, it's nightmare fuel for
It
sure.
really is.
Nightmare fuel.
So as they eat their pizza and they're bonding, Ricky calls, and Luke, the kid, he gets a
Garbage
little
day.
peanut butter and jealous, and but Luke tries to kiss Ashley, but she quickly like shuts it down. She's like, "What are you doing? You're like 12."
Now, at this point,
Yeah,
because I'm just going off of my notes as the movie was going, I was just writing stuff, and I'm like,
yeah,
why does this kid have so much confidence at 12? Because
Right.
at 12 years old, I was terrified to talk to anybody.
yeah.
All I wanted to do was watch Star Wars and pretend that like life wasn't happening. But this kid's just like chugging champagne and like trying to kiss the babysitter.
Too much
Yeah.
Riz.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
way too much
I'm
rice.
sitting there thinking, I'm like, this seems a little unbelievable. And then we get to a point where I'm like, this makes complete sense.
Why
Because this
this
kid's
kid
a
is-
certain type of kid, but we'll get
Yeah.
to that.
Yeah.
But it's funny when I'm like reading my notes and I'm not quite wise to the game yet.
yeah. So we see where Luke tries to kiss her, and immediately gets shut down right away. And
Oops, in my notes it says, Ricky, it's not garbage day.
it's not
Sorry.
garbage day. So then
It's
Ashley,
recycling day.
yeah.
Recycling day.
Then Ashley gets a weird call and panics when the back door is left open. And it turns out it was just Luke's friend Garrett. He like shows up and she's like, "What are you doing here?" And then he's like, oh, just came to hang out, you know. And Garrett's it's weird because he is also 12, but he's like already like a stoner type.
Yeah.
And
Right?
he
Like,
tramples
It's like
Yeah.
worse than a stoner. He's in the medicine
Yeah,
cabinet.
yeah.
He's 12.
He's like
They go into the
raiding the
bathroom.
medicine cabinet and
There's
stuff.
gotta
It's
be
like,
stuff in
They
here.
went into the bathroom and he was like tying off.
Yeah. Yeah.
he already has like a drug problem.
The mom
you know?
catches him and she's like top shelf. He's in the middle of,
Yeah,
Wouldn't
like
it be
tying
funny?
off.
Wouldn't it be funny if she listened to the door and like, oh,
That's pretty much what he was doing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like he already has substance issues.
Real bad,
He's
yeah.
like 12 years old.
Well, as we learn later on the movie, it's probably the best of his problems.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Correct.
For sure.
12 years old and already has a drug and is already a drug addict.
Terrible. Yep.
So they hear something upstairs, and Ashley and the boys go to check it out. They realize the internet is down, and Ashley then sees her tire is slashed. Like, they run downstairs. She sees her tire is slashed. And Garrett sees a message on the brick that says, "You leave, you die." And the first thing Garrett does is he tries to leave.
The thing is, he can't read
Right. Yeah.
or hear.
Guys,
He's on too many
what's
drugs.
this? Yeah.
That's
What does he
I'm
say?
out here.
This is why you should stay off the drugs.
Yeah, say no to drugs.
So he immediately tries to run out the door, and we see like what looks like he gets shot, like a sniper shot, and he falls to the ground.
Which again, like a nice little touch.
Right.
It's like, you leave, you die. So he
Yeah.
runs outside and he gets picked off, but you're watching a movie, so you're assuming, oh, someone shot him.
Yeah,
Right.
like when I didn't see the twist, I like the kid was like, "Oh, is he hurt?" And I was like, "No, he spilled his ketchup."
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah.
So Ashley and Luke see the home invaders snooping around. Like, so at one point they're trying to hide, and then they see from the outside like this home invader who's kind of like snooping around the windows and stuff. And then they're like, okay, let's run upstairs. So they run upstairs, they hide in the attic, and after Ashley has a run-in with a couple spiders, which she's terrified of spiders, by the way, they leave the attic, and that's when Luke goes to get his dad's gun.
What's so question, the spiders, because this comes back a couple different times. At the very beginning, she sees a spider and she starts freaking out, and then he starts like crying, but it doesn't seem like he's like really upset that she's like trying to kill it, and
Yeah.
I forget what he says, but it's basically like it's not his fault or whatever.
Yeah.
Does he
Nothing wrong, yeah.
Yeah, like he didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah.
But like, does he identify with like a spider, like sort of like something?
like Henry when he was a kid in Stranger Things. Spoilers, by the way.
Spoiler.
like remember in oh yeah, I've been rewatching Stranger Things. By
Okay.
the way.
Hell yeah.
And like when Henry was a kid and he liked spiders and the rest of his family was like, ew, spiders.
Yep.
Yeah.
They're
Like
misunderstood and all that stuff.
yeah, it was
Yeah.
just misunderstood, but he is also a killer.
Yeah. But he's also a kid.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. There's just like something about him and spiders where it seems like he
Yeah.
like relates or something.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
so. Because, they're, like a predator.
It's like
in
you're
a
trying
way.
to punish it for its nature.
Right.
It's like it's
Yeah.
not doing anything wrong. It's just
Yeah. It's just
it's just like
existing.
you see it as like a little monster, but it's not doing anything wrong.
Yeah. Just
I'm
like-
like, is he like relating with the
I think
nature
so.
of a spider?
I think so.
I think he's
Yeah.
just a really sweet boy, and he just wanted to save that spider. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
And true
He did-
story, I do not kill bugs, and
Yeah.
if I see a spider, I will put it outside
As you should.
Yeah,
Yeah.
same. Yeah.
I got
because I relate.
I'm the absolute opposite. Also, one more thing, or well, two more things actually. That spider was like as big as the palm of my hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was a giant spider.
Yeah, that was huge.
I don't blame, like, her freaking out.
Yeah.
yeah.
The first time maybe I was like, okay,
Yeah.
chill. But
Yeah.
the second time when they're in the attic and like you see the two and they're like climbing
They're
on
on her
her
face, yeah.
and like how big they are compared to her face, you're
Yeah.
like, yeah, that's a like rightful
Yeah.
reaction.
What I thought was weird is that the one spider was smoking a cigarette.
Yeah.
Like I could tell it was like a real badass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could just tell it.
He's
He
like,
had
hey
like,
Bobby.
There's also
hey, what's up? What are you doing up
You
here?
still with Ricky?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
What about
Everybody's
me?
after Ashley. Hey, what's your dating situation?
I don't know you so well, but I'm curious.
I'm just like nervous to ask you out and stuff if you're still with Ricky or Jamie
If
or
we
whatever.
go out for dinner, I'll pay for everything.
Yeah.
I got spider money.
Spider-Man, full of spider money.
And baby, I can keep you real warm. I got 8 arms to do it.
Let me
Let's
put
go.
you with all 8 of my arms.
Yeah.
But yeah, so she sees these like spiders and she freaks out. But that's when Luke is like, you know what? I know, my dad has a gun. I know where it's hidden. Let's go get it. And then as they're hiding in the closet, she sees like the intruder enter the room. And at one point she gets freaked out in the closet and she like punches like one of the like ski mask things, right? That she sees. But as she's like looking at this intruder, she goes, wait a second. That's like your mask. Like, Luke, that's your mask, right? She's like, Garrett, is that you? And that's when like the intruder just stops and he's like, yeah, it's me, and he takes the mask off and he has like the shotgun. And she's like, are you guys joking right now? Like, this is insane. What's the point of this? And Luke was like, I just wanted to scare you so you would like get closer to me, right? And he's trying to like manipulate the situation.
But the movie is doing a really good job making you think that now it's like, okay, so this was all like a ruse.
Right.
But he's still coming off like sympathetic, like he just is like a stupid kid.
Yeah.
Right? So what happens after this, I was completely shocked by.
She was
Yeah.
She was like, you're a weird and pathetic loser.
And he's like, fair.
And you need lots and lots of therapy.
He
Also
definitely does.
fair.
Very fair.
Also, that's really relatable. You need lots and lots of therapy.
Yeah. So we see where, like, she gets upset and she's like, you know what? I'm going to go call your parents. This is crazy. And as she's going to call them, she's at the top of the stairs and Luke's like, wait. And she's like, stop. And that's when Luke just like smacks her like Will Smith at the Oscars. And she like falls down the stairs and she's like completely knocked out. And Garrett's like, shit, dude, what the hell? Yeah, go ahead.
What if Luke was like, keep that spider's name out your effing mouth? He didn't do nothing wrong.
He didn't do anything wrong. So then we see where Ashley wakes up and she's tied to the chair and hearing them talk about like hooking up with like different cartoon characters. Like, oh, I would hook up with like Princess Gumball and stuff.
So, another little nice touch about this.
Yeah.
There's two things, character things so far. I like in my notes earlier when Ashley takes charge.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this movie should be called Badass Babysitter.
Right.
But then there comes a point where you could see her being very overwhelmed by the situation.
Yeah.
And then Lucas, quote unquote, starts taking charge.
Yeah.
But at this point, she's a scared kid, and she's something that becomes relatable because the way they make movies now a lot of times is that everyone is just like a badass and they don't have humanity. But I was like, I like that they showed her trying to be protective of this kid and take charge of the whole thing, but then eventually she's just very scared, right?
Right.
So then shoot ahead to this moment, these two kids, they're obviously have something wrong with them, but they're still talking like 12-year-olds.
Yeah.
They're not like, well, like I'm like Damien from the fucking Omen or something.
Right.
Like they're just like they're doing this horrible stuff, but you never lose sight of the fact that they're still 12.
Yeah.
So it's like that's the stuff that I found fascinating about this movie where I'm like, oh, they're like people that are doing really horrible things, which makes this very disturbing.
Yeah. It's crazy. So she wakes up and she hears this, right? And we see Luke, at first he puts uses her lipstick to like put on like little lips over the duct tape on her mouth. And then eventually he takes off the tape on her mouth and Luke challenges Ashley to a game of Truth or Dare. And, at first he's like, okay, ask me, go ahead, Truth or Dare, and then he asks her, like, Truth or Dare. And then he asks his buddy Garrett, and he's like, touch your boob, like a little kid, like, touch your boob. So
like a 12-year-old.
Yeah. And then Ashley's like, don't do that, Luke. Like, and she's still trying to talk to him. Like, I knew you since you were like 8 years old. Like, you're not this kind of kid. You know what I mean? And he's just like, whatever. And he touches her inappropriately.
And that actress is stellar.
She's outstanding.
Great.
Yeah.
That whole, like,
I mean, throughout the whole movie,
Yeah.
really.
Yeah.
She's awesome.
That whole, like, you just see, like, that like disappointment, that feeling of, like, violation.
Yeah.
But then her, like, kind of keeping, like, her dignity intact.
Yeah.
Is really, like, again, just makes that scene really hard to watch.
Like,
you're just like,
yeah.
don't do that. Like, but again, like, the movie is pushing the envelope, and I really appreciate that. And I love the fact that when I'm watching this movie, I'm just like, that's gross.
Yeah. And
Take chances movies, but have there be, like, show the humanity in it.
And even though she's, like, tied up, I love she immediately, like, gets the power back a little bit. She's like, you're a little boy.
Yeah.
You're not a man, right? And
You're
you can tell
nothing.
that, like, really fucking irritates him. Like, he's not the adult that he is trying to be.
Yeah.
And she gets under his skin with it. And you're like,
She's
yeah,
doing the smart
fuck
thing.
Yeah.
And even, like, when
Yeah.
she's, like, trying to, like, pit them against each other and stuff, like, that's
Yeah.
what you typically would want to do in a situation like that.
Right.
Get them
Like Billy and
distracted.
Stu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
There's a very Billy Stu vibe to this whole thing.
That's when I sold Chris on this. I was like, and I'm like, just watch it and we'll talk about it after. I was like, what's really cool is, like, watching Billy and Stu, like, from their side of it a little bit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like weird, but I enjoyed it.
One
anyways.
last little thing I want to add about my notes right now is that after she went down the stairs, it says, this took a turn.
Yeah.
And then my notes slowly start to fall away because I was so
Intrigued.
Yeah, I was just
Yeah.
like in this movie. And I'm like, I'll remember what I got to say. So I'm going to put my notebook down.
I just stopped taking notes.
Yeah,
and
because I was just
in.
like, I'm in. I don't need to remember anything. This movie has me.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's when Ricky shows up, right? And Ricky is Ashley's ex.
Is he the cat that was on Stranger Things?
No. It's the other one in the Jeremy.
Okay.
So Ricky shows up and pushes his way into the house. Like, at first, he's like, I'm here to apologize to Ashley. I brought her flowers, right? And then he's like, could you just give the flowers to Ashley? And so Luke is like, okay, whatever.
I just stole these off a grave.
Yeah. And so he opens the door to get the flowers.
My
and then
girlfriend's more important.
Ricky just, like, pushes past him. He's like, yo, Ashley, where are you? And has no idea what's going on at the moment. And Garrett, in the meantime, kind of, like, turned up the music. So if she's shouting, like, he won't hear it, right? He's like, why is the music so loud? And they're like, oh, we're just, celebrating Christmas, man. And,
We're into it.
yeah, we're really into it.
Like the ones I used to know.
So Ricky ends up going upstairs, and as he's searching the house for her, Luke ends up going up behind him with a baseball bat and hits Ricky in the back of the head. And you think,
Bong.
he's knocked out. And Luke starts to celebrate. Like, he starts, like, dancing a little bit. Like, I did it. I knocked him out. This is pretty cool. And then all of a sudden you see in, like, the background a little bit, like, Ricky getting up. You're like, oh, shit. Like, he's still okay, right? Yeah. And he starts beating the shit out of Luke a little bit.
As he should.
Yeah.
And then eventually Luke kind of, like, stabs him in the cheek with, like, a pencil. And that's when he really is like, okay, I'm going to throw this kid down the stairs.
Fucking kill this kid.
Yeah. But
I'm gonna.
Garrett shows up and distracts him. And Garrett has, like, the gun. He's
I'm
like,
gonna skin you.
yeah. He's like, I'm gonna, so Garrett's like, lay off, and he has the gun, and Ricky's like, yeah, this kid's not going to shoot me, right? So he's like walking, and that's when Luke shows up behind again and knocks him out officially with the bat.
Which I thought he was dead at that point.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
you just see like blood kind of like coming out a little bit, and you're like, oh, he's got to be either dead or, or seriously injured
Dying.
at that point. Yeah.
Dead or on the waiting list.
yeah. So the kids now have Ricky and Ashley tied up. And it turns out Luke invited Ricky to come there. He was like the reason Ricky showed up. And Garrett is kind of like, why would you do that? Like, why would you put us in this situation?
So this character, this is Ricky, right?
Yeah.
So Ricky shows up, and again, this movie keeps I just hit the microphone. This movie keeps like pulling me around a little bit because he shows up and he's a character to me initially straight out of an Eli Roth movie.
Right.
Like he just was like, "Well, you got pizza."
Yeah.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
But just sort of seems like, oh, okay, he's gonna be that dopey asshole character.
Unlikable.
Yeah. And then he's sitting down with her tied up when they just have a moment together, and he's like, "Hey, I just want to let you know, like, I'm really happy that you got into school." And he's like, "I want you to be happy and have like the best life and stuff." And I'm like,
He is a little likable.
"Yeah." I'm like, "Oh, okay, so this guy also has humanity to him."
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, this movie, it's so good at just like being like, this is this character that you've seen a million times, and here's the rug underneath your feet, and yank,
Yeah.
perpetually falling on my face.
Because so many movies always set up characters to be an asshole.
Yeah.
So when they die, you're just like, you don't
Oops.
feel anything for them.
But you have to. Like, that's
But
the thing
you
that...
have to, yeah. Like, you should make your audience want to feel something for people. Like, these are people. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
like,
So,
like if in the original Scream, if in the first Scream, like, Sidney Prescott died, it would really upset you.
right.
Because they did such a great job developing her and giving her like this humanity and really having you root for her. But when you have characters who are just kind of like, "Yo, bro, you got pizza? Where's Ashley? Yeah, we got things to talk about. I was kissing her in the car and she took off." Like,
Yeah.
it just immediately you're like, all right, just get this guy out of the movie. But he literally has a moment where he's like terrified and he's injured and he's just kind of like, maybe just he understands like this might go badly for him. Like maybe he's
Right.
not going to come out of this, but he's just kind of like, I'm trying to tell you that I actually really do like care about what happens to you, and like,
If this is our last
Yeah.
moment.
yeah, like it's very like, again, like this movie didn't need to do that, but I really appreciate movies that actually do
The work.
yeah, make
Like,
me care a little bit.
yeah, you could tell the writer is constantly like, oh, I could go this route. It's like the easy, everyone does this. And it's like, well, I'm not going to do that. I want to do this, And so constantly subverting your expectations. Like it's amazing to see this.
It's great for us on a show like this because
Yeah.
sometimes we're like talking about movies and there's just like nothing to say.
Right?
And you're just like
yeah.
goofing, like we're trying to make each other laugh and stuff. But this is like a thing where you could just analyze.
The shit out of this.
Yeah.
It's really good.
It's
yeah.
really good
really well made.
filmmaking. Go ahead.
Yeah. So Garrett, he's kind of like not crazy about how this prank is kind of getting out of hand now, right?
Yeah, it's like, I don't like this. I'm leaving.
Yeah, he's like, I'm gonna go smoke this pot.
Smoke pot in the other room.
He's 12. And then we see where Ricky, who has like the tape on his mouth, says something. And Luke, being like super cocky, like the Luke 12-year-old, he's kind of like, "Oh, would you say, buddy?" And he like takes the tape off. He's like, "Can I use your bathroom?" And then Ricky just starts pissing himself.
Which is very smart.
Yeah. Actually, it actually works.
I know
right?
what he was doing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because here's the other thing, too, that makes Lucas very interesting.
Yeah.
Is that, like, he's supposed to be, like, little sociopath kid, and he's supposed to be real badass, but he's very concerned about you ruining his mom's carpet.
Yes. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's just like, I don't want to get in trouble.
Yeah.
Like, his wires are all over the place.
Oh,
where
my
it's
God.
just,
It's amazing.
I'll murder somebody.
Right.
But, like, please don't have your urine soak over into my mom's new rug. I just, little details like that just make this character very interesting.
Yeah.
He's not, again, like, I can see a version of this movie where it's just like, he's like very stoic You know, like they're like, I'm bad evil kid, you know, and it's boring. But like this kid's just like he's a 12-year-old, but he's also like a sociopath.
Yes.
He's very damaged.
Yeah.
So it's like his reaction to things is just like, really? Okay.
Yeah.
You have me, movie.
Gets distracted by this, right? And immediately is like, I have to clean this up. So he's like cleaning it up, and he like takes some of the stuff outside, and we see Ashley has like a piece of glass that she's been using to like cut the tape. So at one point she's like really cutting down the tape. She actually like cuts herself and bleeds a little bit. So she wipes the blood up with the sock because she didn't want him to like notice. Because she at this point he already has like a pretty keen eye for like details. Luke, the 12-year-old. So as she's like trying to cut herself free, you hear Ricky go, "Don't worry about me. I want you to have a good life. You get the hell out of here. Just run out of here."
Run, yeah.
And
Run, Forrest,
you know, like you see like this great moment from Ricky. And he's like trying to be like, "I just want you to get out of here. You have a bright future ahead of you. You deserve it."
I'm Ricky.
And I'm Ricky.
I've got nothing going on.
Yeah. And I'm Ricky.
My
And,
home life is hell.
It's garbage day.
Garbage day. So then Luke returns, and we see where Garrett and Luke drag Ricky to the living room.
Wait, before that happened, he's like, "Wait a minute, that's not pee." And then he goes into the room and he's like, "Yo, you're smoking weed."
Yeah.
He's like, "You said you wanted me to calm down." He's like, "If my mom finds out, she's gonna kill me."
Yeah, like things like that. You're
Yeah.
like, he's still a kid.
Yeah.
Which again adds a level of, well, this is disturbing.
Then Garrett and Luke drag Ricky to the living room, and Luke tries to Home Alone Ricky with a paint can. And at first it swings right past his head, and they're like, "Holy shit, what are you doing?" Even Garrett is like, "What the fuck is going on, man?" And that's when like Luke is like, "I just want to see, do a little Mythbusters and see what if I'm right or if you're right." And so he does. He has the paint can, and they're about to do it again, and that's when Ashley kind of breaks free.
Did you guys think for a second that he was going to throw that paint can down and it was going to hit her in the face?
I was gonna hit the Garrett in the face when he was.
I thought
standing there
so.
for a
Yeah, I
second.
thought Garrett was gonna
Like
get hit.
actual Home Alone. It's like, "Oh, cool."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought like the little shake up of the movie was going to be like that she runs into the room and then she's the one who gets hit in the face.
Yeah.
But
"Hey, I'm here, Paul."
but it's something better happens.
Yeah. So she breaks free, right? Like she's like, "Oh, screw it. I'll just like run with the chair," kind of attached to me still. And she grabs the gun that's on the counter, and she runs, and she's like, "Don't you throw that paint can, blah 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 blah." And
She's like, "Drop it." He's like, "Okay."
and so he does, and we see the paint can like come down, and then all of a sudden you hear it make impact, right, with Ricky, and we don't know what happened at first. You just see the paint kind of like splash everywhere, all over Garrett, basically, too.
Awesome choice not to do like a close up of his head blown up or something.
Yeah.
Because that's not the kind of movie this is.
Right, exactly. Yeah, you see this impact, right? And you don't see, like, you hear the impact. You don't actually see what happens. You just see the result of what happens. And at first you're like, "Oh, it must have hit him in the head," right? And then you just see the paint like fly kind of everywhere. And then eventually it shows the paint like kind of running down Ricky's legs, as well as like blood kind of mixing in. It's almost like Child's Play 3 when like Chucky's getting dragged and like you see the paint kind of like the blood in the going in the mixer.
Makes a Chucky head.
Yeah. And so
Wait, what? Like me and my dad were like, "Oh no, he spilled his ketchup and mustard."
It did look like that.
it
Straight
did.
up,
Yeah. It's just like
Hey, also with is there some kind of commentary running through this too? Like when they're talking about like Home Alone,
yeah.
and like how like maybe like media desensitizes kids of that age. Is
Right.
there like something like that going on in this? Because I was kind of getting that vibe,
Oh, 100%.
like Mythbusters and like Home Alone and like would make someone's head explode. Like,
Yeah.
the very like cold analysis of the whole thing.
Yeah. Because like he's like, I believe Garrett is like, no, nothing would happen, and then Luke is like, no, it would definitely kill someone.
He's correct. In
And
Home
he's
Alone
correct.
2, when he's throwing bricks.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that would definitely kill
blood just-
someone.
That first one would have just like
That whole Home Alone 2, every single thing it would kill it's horrible. Like
The explosion.
the toilet in the end. It would get,
Yeah. Everything would have
Everything
killed them.
kills them. Yeah.
yeah.
Like like he gets electrocuted. Like
Yeah.
when he's
He
like trying
turns
to
into a
wash off all the
yeah,
paint.
and you see a skeleton.
Yeah.
What if it was like Adam's Family 2 and you just saw the dust come down? Dead body.
But yeah, this is like a crazy kill
Wait, what?
in a movie.
Yeah.
Like the
it's
paint
crazy.
can kill. It's pretty insane, and
Yeah.
it's not like what you expect at all, because you're like you said, it's like you're desensitized from like Home Alone, from seeing like all this crazy shit.
Yeah, like you see
happen to
like
Harry and
movie
Marv.
movie violence.
Right.
Like there's like it's comical.
Yes.
But then you see in real life, it's like, oh, that would just like crush your face.
Yeah. Yeah, and you don't ever see like a close up, but you
Again,
definitely know.
good choice.
It's
Yeah.
it's bad.
Especially since like they took the time to actually like humanize Ricky,
Yeah.
because you actually do feel like, oh man, like that's like if it was like Friday the 13th fodder, you would have been like, yeah,
Right. Yeah.
because there's a difference. Because those guys, they don't take the time to make them into people, so you actually are okay with the violence.
Yeah.
But when you take an actual character and make them into a person, then you're like kind of disturbed by
Unsettled.
it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pop, poker face, pop, poker face.
Put
From,
paint can
so-
face, put paint can face. So Ashley.
Also, sorry, EJ. Won't it be funny if like it came down, but it was like Home Alone, he just like he fell over in the chair and he was still alive.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
And the big one comes down and gets him.
yeah,
Don't worry,
coming
Harry.
up. Yeah.
I'll get him.
I'll get him.
I want to go home and watch Home Alone.
I know,
so
me
good.
too.
Yeah,
I have to
so good.
rewatch it. So Ashley tries to escape, but eventually the kids catch her, and the GD carolers kind of ruin it for her
Yeah.
because they show up and drown out her screams for help.
Dude, would it be funny if she was screaming and one of the carolers turned around and was like, when we're finished.
When we're done,
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I don't care what state you're in. We're finishing.
There's no excuse for bad manners.
help, help.
I'm dying. Are you really gonna? Are you really gonna interrupt our song?
From the top.
From the top. So Luke assures Garrett they will get away with everything, like all the times before. And we find out, like, Luke is like a monster at this point, right? I mean, like,
Oh,
even...
maybe that's what it is. It's like, he's
Yeah.
like, when I was talking about the spider thing before,
Yeah.
he is like a spider spinning webs.
Oh, yeah. Constantly.
Okay, so like his little spirit animal is a spider.
Probably, yeah.
He's
Well,
not doing
he's-
anything wrong. He's just doing
Luke's a
what
predator.
makes sense to him.
Right? Like, Luke is, like,
tarantula.
literally, like,
Yeah.
almost like a predator.
I think I figured
like,
it out.
Yeah. And we see where Luke is like, hey, remember the time you were trying to steal money out of my mom's purse? And I pretended we were, like, I was sleepwalking so you could get away with it. And then that's, like, something mentioned earlier in the movie. And then he's like, oh, remember the time, like, you were almost in trouble, but I was, like, your, excuse to get out of that trouble? And Garrett's like, yeah,
I guess you did.
I guess so.
I
It's
guess
like,
that
we're best
justifies what we're
friends.
doing.
Yeah. So then Jeremy shows up. And now this is, he was Billy in Stranger Things. Like the,
Really? That's him?
yeah, that's
Yeah.
him.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And then he was Jason in Power Rangers. Yeah.
That was Billy?
That's Billy.
Oh, wow.
Well, he's a really good actor.
He is.
Yeah, I like
Yeah, he
him
like
as an actor.
I feel like he disappears. Like if you watch that and then watch Stranger Things, you don't even know that's the same person.
It's funny because
That's
Leo
crazy.
couldn't guess who it was. I was like, Leo, who is that? He's like, I don't know. I was like, all right, I picture him with like a crappy little mustache. She's like, oh, Billy.
yeah, yeah.
Hey, you know what's really
He looks
interesting?
like Rob Lowe in the 80s.
we got a Billy and a Ricky
Yeah, we got Billy, Ricky.
on Christmas.
Oh,
Only good things can happen.
only good things from here.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, Jeremy shows up, and this is when stuff gets kind of crazy. So Luke,
Oh, by the way, because I know we didn't just touch on it, but he's telling him, yes, like I'll get us out of this.
Right.
And then they have Ashley tied up with like
Yes.
Christmas lights.
yeah, Christmas lights and tape over her mouth. And that's when Jeremy shows up, and he's outside, and Luke greets Jeremy outside. And Jeremy is given a notebook by Luke, and he's like, listen, Ashley wants to talk to you, and she just wants you to apologize, but she wants you to write it down in this notebook, right? Just write something. And so at first Jeremy was like, oh, this is stupid. Come on, right? And he's like, okay, Ashley, I'm sorry. He's like, that's it. Are you sure that's all you want to write? He's like, all right, I'm going to Shakespeare this up, all right? So he writes like a really nice like apology. Like,
I
I'm
looked
really
at
sorry.
I looked at the notebook. It said Jeremy spoke in class today, which was
Jeremy spoken.
isn't that kind of like what we're aiming for here?
Yeah.
Because he's
Yeah,
trying to make it
basically.
sound like he's like, yeah.
Yeah. So it's basically like a guilty
Yeah.
suicide letter of like, admitting guilt to something
Yeah.
without really we the audience know what that's going to be for.
Yeah.
But Jeremy is like, oh, okay, it's just for my girlfriend, whatever, ex-girlfriend.
Yeah. It's like he's basically tricking him into writing like a suicide letter.
Right.
Yeah.
Like I did sorry this all happened.
I love
Yeah.
you.
I love you. Yeah.
And then P.S. Jeremy spoke in class today.
Yeah.
Jeremy spoke in class today. So awesome.
That kind of makes me feel bad for Jeremy a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think about should have a little
I mean, he
Yeah.
is kind of a jerk, we see,
with
but
his money sign hat.
yeah.
He is, if I would have one complaint with this movie, he is the only person that does come off like a cartoon character.
yeah.
Yeah.
They don't take the time to give him a moment.
Wow.
It's just
Well,
like,
I think
oh,
the
you want me to
letter-
write a
It was
note?
written
I think the
down.
letter's like the moment, because if you do
But
read the
they
letter,
seem like
it
kind
is-
of forced into it, though.
no-
yeah,
Like he kind of like wrote something that he probably thought she wanted to hear. Do you know what I mean?
yeah, that's true. I guess so. I took it as like, oh, he actually was like, you know what? I want to write something for her.
This movie
Like,
should have been called Everybody Loves Ashley.
Everybody does love Ashley. Hey, it's me, Ray Romano.
Hi, Deborah.
I love you, Ashley. So
Hi, Deborah.
as Jeremy finishes this letter, and he's like, yeah, that's it. We see like a noose go around his neck, and get pulled up towards like the tree, and he's like hanging, and he's like struggling for his life, and we just see Luke on this like tractor just driving it forward to like raise him up into the air, and eventually Jeremy ends up dying. And I was just like, this kid is a
Pretty-
freaking monster.
Yeah, he's like a monster for sure.
He
yeah.
murdered 2 people
Yeah.
already.
Yeah.
And in pretty horrific ways, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very sadistic.
Yeah, not like a simple like stab or shot.
Classic.
Home
Yeah.
Alone dumb, dude.
Yeah, it's
He,
like,
yeah, he basically.
it's like Bride of Chucky.
Yeah.
It's like, nah, too basic.
Yeah.
It's like Martha Stewart with that thing. Who the fuck is Martha Stewart?
What the fuck? So Garrett, in the meantime, he's
My
like kind of
apple.
talking with Ashley, and Ashley eventually gets him to like take off the tape right on her mouth, and he's like, "Hey, listen," she's like, "Don't go along with this. You could still get out of this. Like, you don't have to listen to Luke." And Luke is like so anyways, Garrett's like really like, no, he's my best friend. He's all I have. Like, he really is like just my only friend. And Ashley's like, you get like, just let me out. You won't be involved. Like, you didn't do anything, right? And eventually he apologizes. He's like, I can't do that. But he does give her like a little kiss. And then all of a sudden,
She has a look on her face where she's just kind of like, oh, Jesus Christ, with these
yeah,
kids.
these kids.
12-year-old.
But-
She shudders.
Yeah, she's like, oh, Jesus.
As soon as he like backs up,
I'm
from
going to
kissing
Pittsburgh
her,
as soon as I can.
yeah,
She was like, yeah. Oh wait, you go.
yeah. As soon as he backs up from kissing her, all of a sudden you just hear a shotgun and him fly across the room.
Yeah.
And
He was like, it's something like this. I wish I could.
Yep.
yeah. So Luke shoots him with that shotgun, right? The first time. And then he's like, why did you touch her? I told you not to touch her. And he's like yelling and screaming at his friend. He's like, you made me do this.
I'm
then,
dying, man.
yeah.
You're a little woozy here.
But at one point, again, like they do a good job, like kind of humanizing the character. Like the last thing Garrett says is like,
I want my mom.
I want my
That wrecked
mom.
me.
Yeah.
What's that?
That wrecked me. That was bad.
Yeah. Because
That
he's
made me
because
feel
he's
real
just
bad for her.
a kid.
Yeah.
Him,
he's just a child. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what's kind of tragic about this is that again they don't make them just like bad kids because I mean they are, but there is
Right.
still humanity in there, and
Yeah.
it just makes all this feel very sad.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, I like Stu, but he never really had that. Like that moment
My
where...
mom and dad are gonna be so mad at
Oh,
Oh yeah.
oh, yeah, except for that part.
me. Did you
Yeah.
really call the cops?
Did you really call the cops? Yeah, no, I feel like you see Luke have like he cares a little bit at first,
Yeah.
but then immediately just like shuts it off like it's no problem.
I know he's like, I was already getting bored with him anyways.
Yeah.
He was starting to annoy me a
Yeah.
little.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I was like annoy him. Yeah. But either way, it's just kind of like he has no appreciation
No
or need for
empathy.
his
Friend,
for a
yeah.
friendship. Yeah.
And
They're just like little pieces. Like human beings are like little pieces within a spider web.
yes. Oh, absolutely.
Except
And
for this kid.
Yeah.
then we see him talk to Ashley for the final time and he stabs her in the neck.
What was his overall plan with her? That's the only part of the movie where I was just kind of like, what are you doing? You're trying to make it just like a murder-suicide thing? Did he want her to like see him a certain way? Because as it stands,
Yeah.
it's just like he's like really going out of his way to like be like, I'm gonna make her mine, and I don't want you touching her.
I
Right.
have a theory
And then he
on
just
this.
stabs her. I'm
What do you
like,
think?
okay.
Yeah, what's your
that?
theory?
What is your theory,
So
good
my
sir?
theory is that, like, you know how, like, in the beginning, where, like, he was, like, he was like trying to like flirt with her.
Yeah.
So I have a theory. So like with all the other people he didn't care about, even his own best friend, but I think that he still had like a little love for her. So maybe he wanted to be like admit I'm cool, like he was trying to do in the beginning. So he was just trying to like have her like respect him.
Yeah.
See me as a man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
see him as a man. But instead, she just says nothing.
Yeah.
She's like, "Hey, I think I know why your mom doesn't hug you anymore."
That's a great moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And she like closes her eyes and won't look at him.
And she just
Yeah.
doesn't say anything.
Just because she's like he's like irrelevant to her now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like is not gonna give him the time of day, and then he's
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're just like a pathetic
Yeah.
little kid.
See, I don't know. I think
Yeah.
that with this movie, was it like that he tried to impress her, just like the beginning showed, because it kind of
Right.
sets up that like he was a mastermind this whole time and planned all of this, but it's like maybe he did just want to impress her, and then things just kept going bad. But he was such a good problem solver that he's like, well, if I do this and this and this, then it's gonna work out in this way, and then we're gonna get rid of all of her boyfriends, and then maybe if we get rid of her boyfriend, she'll like me, and then he just went batshit crazy. You know what I mean?
I think he was still a little sad though, to like kill her.
He didn't want to, or
yeah,
he just
like,
got
'cause,
mad
like-
and did it.
Yeah, like even though like he was like had all this like armor on to make him look like a tough badass, deep down he was still like a little boy,
Sure.
Yeah.
and yeah, made him a little more human.
Have you ever killed one of your babysitters that you'll admit to?
Don't admit.
Yeah,
don't
you're on
admit to
camera.
it.
Yeah, don't say it into
No.
the camera.
You're
Actually.
you're literally getting recorded.
He don't have any babysitters. I'll just say that.
I don't yeah, I don't have any more babysitters.
Okay, good.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good.
We'll phrase it like that. They can't get you in court. so.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think to him.
Go ahead. Go ahead. I'll have the best lawyer in the world.
Yeah, no, I took it like that, but I also was thinking along the lines of how he just doesn't have any emotional connection. Like he's able to turn that off. Like he thinks he wants. It's about control, obviously too. I think with him, it's about control, but then also, it's like I think I want this, and then it's like, no, I don't want this anymore. You know what I mean?
But,
I
but don't
like,
you think there is a moment though, like when she chooses to not look at him, because that was a choice. That was
that definitely was like,
There was a reason why the filmmaker decided to have her close her eyes and not look at him, and how he was reacting to it.
Right.
There's some, because he has mother issues for sure.
100%.
And it's something like, maybe like he's saying something like, you see me in the way that like no one else does. My mom doesn't see me. And then it's just sort of like, maybe that's kind of why he has like that sort of obsession with her. And then when she chooses not to look at him anymore, it's just kind of like, oh, you're about as useless as everybody else in my life ever was.
Right.
It's real neat. It's like the idea though, like that when you're a kid and your mom is sitting there cuddling you and holding you, and then one day when you're a kid you don't understand why. Next thing you know, she's not. You know what I mean? Because you're 13 or 14 or you know whatever the deal is, and then you don't. If you're an insane person, a sociopath, you know what I mean? You're thinking about it like this, and then this babysitter, she still kind of cuddles him. You know what I mean? So that's a really good point. Like what you're saying, like this makes sense. You know what I mean?
Do you think also like the mom started to understand that there was something wrong with him too?
I don't know. I think he might be. So. You think? Yeah.
Yeah, I think the mom had suspicions.
Yeah, like there's just like something like I'm not because like a child like that, they're like he's obviously like a sociopath, and like you can't connect with somebody who doesn't have like proper human emotions. Mm-hmm. So like mom might just be like kind of rejecting him because she doesn't know how to love him. You know. Yeah. That's what my mom did to me.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say,
doesn't do that.
Yeah.
I feel like you could tell.
Your mom's listening, Leo. She's great.
Yeah. I'm kidding, Mom.
I was gonna say, like, when he kills his friend, it seems like he does care, and then all of a sudden, I mean, I don't really care. I think the same thing happens here because he stabs her in the neck, and at first he did care, and then it's like, oh, I don't really care now. And he goes into that awesome montage with the Ramones.
Yeah. Oh, God. That's one of the last things in my notes. I'm like, the Ramones. That's how you get me, movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Throw a curveball at me and end your friggin' movie with the Ramones.
Yeah.
The greatest Christmas song of all time.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas. I don't want to
fight
fight tonight. It's so good.
Yeah.
So we get this fun montage of Luke setting up all the murders to be pinned onto Jeremy. And I love how he's like getting like the paint, puts it on his hand. He gets like the gun and like this, and he's like, and then at one point he just like high fives the dead Jeremy, and then
which is very funny.
Yeah, it is really funny, and he's cleaning up the house and making it, like setting up all the murders to be, like do this and that, and he's like dancing the whole time, so like kind of like celebrating, like I'm getting away with it, and.
It's almost like remember like Joker. Like,
100%.
And it's like I feel like liberated and
like I'm free, because maybe that was like an anchor thing for him. Like Ashley was like a connection to his humanity, and so that anchor is now gone.
Yeah, without her, he's just a Norman Bates.
He's just a Joker, dude. That's it. That's the real origin story.
It's Lucas, fillet of fish.
So he is about to like relax, and then he's like, "Oh no, the pencil in the cheek!" Right, and he forgets of that. So he races to fix that one last mistake before his parents arrive.
Before we didn't mention this. It's very funny when they want to get the marijuana into Ricky's bloodstream or whatever. So they're like making him smoke, and then it's like coming out of his cheek, and they're like, "That's awesome!"
That's so cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's fun. But go ahead.
But yeah, so the parents arrive, and we see, he literally has to set up the pencil on the door, so he climbs out onto the roof to go back into his room and stuff. But it looks like everything kind of worked out for Luke, almost.
At first.
Yeah, because he's laying in his bed and he puts on like the little sound machine.
The telltale heart machine.
Yeah, and he hears his mom screaming downstairs, Luke, Lucas, and she's like freaking out. She runs up and she is hugging him, which is like something he wanted.
Not looking at him though.
Yeah, but now,
Did you catch that?
Yeah, and so she's like, holding on to him, and she's like making sure he's okay. And
if you look in his eyes, you see a dark hole.
Yep.
That's what people say about me.
what's everybody says that.
There's nothing there.
Everyone in my school says that. I'm like, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Thanks.
And I'm gonna make this your problem.
Yeah.
I used to write that on my locker.
Blackest eyes.
So, as he's like seeing, the ambulance shows up and all the cops and stuff, and everyone, is like in the house and taking, different people out. They're like, "We got one alive," and the EMT yells, and he's just like, his eyes, ruh-oh, and he like runs to the window to see who it is, and sure enough, it's Ashley. And it turns out she used like a part of the duct tape to like, patch up her neck to stop the bleeding, and as she's getting loaded into the ambulance, she looks up at the window where Billy's like looking at her, and she just like flips him off, and Billy just has this look of like, my whole life is over. Yeah, and that's where the movie ends.
That is a pitch perfect ending.
Yeah, he watches in terror. Like, he's literally like,
oh my gosh,
she's alive.
There's not a lot of movies that understand the appropriate point in which to close your movie out. That was it.
That was a
Wait, did you guys see the end credit scene?
What's that?
Wait, there's
Mom,
there's
let's go in
credits?
the hospital.
There's an end credit scene, yeah. So
There's?
it's like 30 seconds into the credits, and it does kind of deteriorate the ending a little bit. It's just, he's like, "Mom, we should go visit Ashley in the hospital," and then it ends.
Oh.
Yeah, so it like Scream 4's you, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
a little bit. Yeah,
See,
but
That's
still-
so funny that you just said that.
Yeah.
Because I was going to say something to you. I was thinking about today. Like, with her getting loaded into the ambulance and, like, flipping off, Lucas.
yeah.
I was going to say to you, I'm like, that would have been awesome if that's how Scream 4 ended.
Oh my god. If that was the case, that would have been.
Yeah.
Scream 4 would have been one of my favorites.
Because Scream
Yeah.
4, I like that movie a lot. A lot, actually. But
Yeah.
I was always a little half and half with the way they chose to end it. Because I really do wish that they, like, didn't necessarily kill Jill, but just give her, like, an ending like that where it's like, oh, I got away with it. But
I mean, I do.
not really.
I mean, I do kind of like the part where it's like clear and just does it.
It's
It was
funny.
fun, yeah.
Yeah, it was a fun death.
But, like, I love that, just, like, the closing point of her just, like, flipping them off. And that does deflate it a little bit.
Yeah.
The 30 seconds where you're just like, oh,
Yeah, I wish
don't do that.
yeah.
Just like no one to leave the party.
I think you know what it is.
1 out
It's
of
probably
10.
like the director was like, "This is a perfect spot
No, I'm just
to
kidding.
end," and producers like, "We should have some kind of
Sequel
tie-up."
bait.
Yeah, like some kind of sequel.
How
bait
about
or
in the
whatever.
sequel he chases around the hospital, bro?
How about we make one called a freakquel?
Yeah.
Yeah,
We could do that.
Oh, yeah.
We'll make that movie for you, Hollywood.
But no, I bet it was like a split creative. Like, I really want the movie to end here, and then for people who don't watch the end credits, that like leave on this note, like really high note.
Yeah.
But then there's like probably like a producer or someone else that was like, no, you need to have like something to tie it up.
Some kind of sequel idea. Yeah.
Yeah,
they
or
should
like
not-
leave off on the sequel kind of thing.
They should not have done that because you know what it made me think of? You know the movie Before Sunset?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You know, like the ending of that movie? Like when I watched that movie for the first time, I was just like, what a perfect ending.
Yeah.
Like, it just literally is like one of the greatest endings of like just knowing when to leave the party.
Yeah.
And I was like, then it made me think of that. I was like, wow, like that's like one of the better endings I've seen in a while because it's sort of like, oh, I got away with everything. We have a live one here. And then she just flips him off. I'm like,
Perfect.
Yep.
Yeah.
we step out, run the credits, we're done. But then it's like, we should go to the hospital.
Yeah.
See how Ashley's doing. I'm like, yeah.
Oh,
Sorry.
I didn't even watch like so. I as soon as the credits started rolling, I'm like, oh okay, and I turned it off.
Yeah.
But
I'm sure it still ends that way. Like, I don't think that if she gets
wow.
in the ambulance, she'll be like, that kid's a freaking psychopath. Like,
Not canon.
Yeah, no, he's not canon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that it.
yeah, no, what a great movie though.
Yeah.
I overall, it's just like, you expect you're going and watching like a very basic horror movie, and then it just does all this really cool stuff
Really
that
unique.
it stays with you, and you're like, that was a cool movie.
It was fun because
You're correct, sir.
I seen it the first time, and then when I watched it the second time, I forgot exactly how the twist went. I knew it was a twist. I knew the kid was evil, but I thought it happened later in the movie. So I thought it kind of was like the whole movie of like this intruder thing, and at the end it's revealed that it's him. It might have gotten other movies confused with one another, but it was cool because when I just rewatched that movie, it was like, oh shit, yeah, that's how it goes again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I got that like surprise twice, which I love when that happens.
Yeah. No, it's
Yeah.
great. So your final thoughts on this movie?
I thought it was good. I thought it was fun. It was disturbing. It was suspenseful. You know what I mean? Because you're not really sure where it's gonna go, and you know what I mean. And it was effective. It was for sure. It made you care about all the characters. Like I said, that kid gets shot, and he calls for his mom, and something about it just. It gave me like the bad chills. You know what I mean? Like, that's gross.
So
I
good.
don't like that. You know what I mean? It's like, an alpha dog when the kid, you ever see Alpha Dog?
I love Alpha.
Yeah,
Dog.
like when the kid's like about to get killed, and it's like that moment when you're like, no, and then I don't know, it was just
And
that kind of effective towards me. I don't know. So I think
first
it was good.
love that movie. Alpha Dog. It's so good.
It is good.
I love. I met Ben Foster.
Okay.
Who plays Jake Mazurski.
Yeah.
And when I met him, he was doing Broadway, and I said, "I love you in Alpha Dog."
Yeah.
When you show up at the party and you're like, and you roundhouse that girl, and then you go tell him Jake Mazurski was here, and he's like, "Yeah."
That was the best.
Yeah. But I was such a huge fan of that movie.
Yeah.
But it ends on such a heartbreaking note, and that's a real story that actually happened.
I love Christmas horror movies too. So like there's
Yeah.
something about that. I did feel Christmassy. Some you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Christmas horror movies are horror movies with like some backdrop and stuff, but this was like, just, I don't know, it felt like more Christmassy.
Yeah.
To me. I don't
Yeah.
know. Yeah, it was.
I agree.
It was fun.
Yeah, Leo, what's your final thoughts on this movie?
On Alpha Dog.
No, on Better Watch Out. Would you recommend this to people?
Yeah, I would recommend it unless you're Vince.
Vince, do you think Vince... here's a question. This is a new question for the show. Would Vince like this movie? This is a new poll we're going to run.
I don't think he would like it.
Yeah?
Maybe.
Okay.
I have a feeling he might be warm to this one. A lot of the stuff we show him, no.
Yeah.
But I think he might have gotten something out of this one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think it's just because I think he would have appreciated the
twist.
the hard left it takes.
Yeah.
But you are a fan.
But yeah, I like this movie. If you're a horror fan, recommend it. Christmas fan, recommend it. Neither of those fans, don't watch it.
If you're not a fan of Christmas, then
Yeah.
And you can, I don't know, you can eat garbage.
Yeah, man. And it's garbage day.
Garbage day.
Garbage day.
Now, did you with this movie? What was like something that stuck out? Like, what was like? Did you enjoy all the acting performances, the directing, the music?
What specifically? Like the first thing that jumps into your head makes you like this movie?
The writing.
I might say the twist actually.
Yeah.
Like
So,
that
like, the writing
twist,
in it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the writing.
Yeah.
Cause I went and I watched this movie, or when I was about to watch this movie, I was like, oh, okay, it's gonna be like a cool like Home Alone robber thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then after the movie, like it was a totally different movie.
Yeah.
yeah.
So I was like, ooh, that's awesome.
That's where the trailer is too. Like I don't know if you guys watched the trailer for this movie, but
Yeah.
it literally sets up like, hey, it's Home Alone, and it's like, it says like if Home Alone meets The Strangers. Like I think that's what the trailer says in the
Perfect.
trailer, and then you
Yeah.
watch it and it's
Not that.
yeah,
Not
no.
that.
And that
a
is
little bit of
awesome.
splashes of them, but you know.
Yeah.
What I mean? Like,
I think like the funny games comparison is a
Is
little
perfect.
more accurate because like,
Yeah.
you ever see Funny Games?
never. No.
Watch that.
Funny Games?
Yeah, it's like it's a German film. They did remake it with Naomi Watts, and it's very good. The German
90s?
one's a little better, but like it's worth watching. But it's got a little bit of that that some of the subject matter in this movie is reflective in that one. But so you're all thumbs up on this guy.
Yep, I like this movie a lot.
What about
really
you?
good.
I love this movie. This is my third time watching it. I was super pumped when you told me Leo picked this, I was like, hell yeah. I was so excited to cover this. And I was excited for you to watch it because I was like, I think Rory's going to dig this. But yeah, no, this movie rocks. I love the writing, the performances, some of the song choices in it. Obviously, Ramon's fan as well.
Oh, yeah.
Christmas, I don't want to fight tonight with.
So good. But yeah, no, I love this movie. I definitely would recommend it. And I would watch it again and again. I feel like it has a lot of legs. You know what I mean? I feel like
Spider legs.
a lot of spider legs. Yeah. How about you, Roy?
So for me, like, I don't know if anybody knows this at home, but I watch a lot of movies.
Really?
Some argue maybe too many, but it's kind of a special moment when you've watched so many movies that don't surprise you.
Right.
Like, they could have surprising things about them, but they don't evoke that feeling of like, oh,
Right.
what is this?
Yeah.
So, like, for me, when I was watching it, I was being so snarky at the beginning. I was like, okay, this is going to be some stupid little, again, like a Home Alone, like, oh, we're doing our own little thing. And when it turned, I was so excited. I was just like, what is happening? And then I had no idea where it was going. And, like, when they were, like, kind of laying out their plan and the stuff that they were, like, inviting her boyfriends over, and I was just like, it's impossible to figure out where this is going.
Yeah.
So, like, just for me as, like, a movie lover, this was delightful. It was such, like, a breath of fresh air for me. And then I was, like, fascinated thinking about, like, why you picked it. And I was just kind of like, I'm like, oh, like, that's such a awesome choice. So I was like, I'm going to ask him what about this movie made you want to cover it? Because it's just, again, like, there's so many different, Christmas movies out there. There's, like, a lot of Silent Night, Deadly Night movies.
Yeah.
But this one really is, like, the writing is so solid. The characters are, like, they're not overdeveloped. They're just developed right where they need to be. And then, like, I love the girl who plays Ashley.
Yeah. Olivia DeLonge or something.
Yeah, she's so good. And that kid, his name's escaping me at the moment. The one that plays Lucas.
Yeah.
That character, in the hands of a different actor, would have been cringy.
And
He's like yelling and stuff. Like, that could have gone south very quickly.
His choices, like the little.
Yeah,
he was great.
And he's very, like, unnerving.
Yeah.
But there's still a part of you when he's, like, cleaning everything up and he's like
excited,
where you're just kind of like, oh, I hope he gets away with it.
Yeah.
But, like,
holy shit, this kid's gonna get away with it. Yeah.
But as far as movies go, like little horror films, this is something that I wish I could experience again.
Yeah.
For the first time.
Yeah.
So other than that, but really, I just hated it every second of it.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding. No, I think it's totally. If you want something different, give this one a watch.
Yeah, this movie, it's kind of interesting because, like you said, we watch so many movies, so you kind of figure out the formula pretty quick.
Exactly.
And to see a movie that kind of stimulates your brain, where you're like, I didn't see any of this happening. You're just like, shit, this is cool. Like, this is a great movie.
You know what's really funny too is that, like, it's funny that it got me, because there's times where, like, Beck and I are watching things and I'll just be like, okay, so this is the point in which this happens, or like they're gonna say this or that thing's coming back later, and I'm always like, my accuracy is like 98%.
Exactly.
This movie, I had no idea that it was going to turn into what it turned into, and it didn't feel forced.
Right.
None of it felt like it's like, oh, they're just trying to shock you. It all felt very natural, and you started going back over everything that led to that point, and you're like, oh, it was there. It's so cool.
Right in your face the whole time.
Yeah, and like, you really gotta commend a film that can do that in this day and age, because we're overexposed with content and media, and just for my for myself.
Paste era of, like, remake this, remake that, remake this, remake that. And so we're in that, like, weird copy and paste formula, And to see something like this is so refreshing.
Win for everybody.
It's absolutely.
Make more movies like this. I'm telling you, because I was really waiting to see like the movie just to be like a Home Alone thing, and then I'd see like interviews with the filmmakers. They're like, we really liked Home Alone growing up, so we thought ourselves, hey, these kids haven't had a Home Alone for the modern age, and I was just gonna start throwing up.
I meant to check this, but I know like most of the cast are from Australia.
Yeah,
So like Olivia,
I
Garrett,
read that too.
Dockeray Montgomery.
Some of those spiders.
Yeah, some of the spiders. So I'm kind of curious if this was shot in Australia with like Australia.
I don't think it was in Australia.
I think the
No. Oh, okay.
Oh yeah. Well, the director he is an Australian Canadian filmmaker.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I feel like it's weird because maybe Australia is kind of under the, like Lake Mungo blew me away. Like
Yeah.
I loved Lake Mungo. Now I'm watching now thinking about it and
What's like
this
Mungo?
you have to watch that. It's great.
Yeah, it's
It's like a documentary. But
creepy.
It's creepy. Yeah. And so watching like a movie like Lake Mungo and then watching this, right? And you're like, maybe Australia has some stuff cooking that's pretty good down there.
Or just two good movies.
Just two really good movies that were on this podcast. I mean, because obviously Marsupials was not one of them.
No, actually, that's their crowning achievement.
Yeah, it is. But let's get
do
into
emojis, right?
Emojis, yeah. Shane, do you want to start us off with the emojis?
Yeah, I had them and I deleted them, but I think they're saved still. So let's see. I have. Go to my recent. Okay, I have a snowman because snowman. Christmas tree. I have a bucket because Home Alone. And then I have this little baby emoji because she called him an infant and it pissed him off. So there's that. And then a knife too because why not? I think I have a cantaloupe or something. I think I hit that on accident, but there we have that.
I love it. Leo, you want to go next?
Yeah, sure, okay. So, I have a snowman for the decapitated snowman.
Nice.
A cat.
Ooh, you're in my world now, sir.
Yeah. I have a ski for, like, the skiing picture with, like, I forgot his name. The mom and the dad. Like,
Patrick
remember?
Warburton,
Yeah,
Virginia
Patrick.
Madsen.
Yeah. Like the picture of them like skiing and stuff. Like she looked at it for a second.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah.
I have
Good
a gun, because of like the gun that shot the kid. I have a spider,
Nice.
a snowflake, and then finally I have a dog.
Oh, nice.
You got all the important ones.
Yeah, you got all the good stuff.
You did.
Rory, do you want to go next?
Well, Leo and I have many of the same here. I had a cat
Yeah.
because the cat is terrific.
So good.
We might talk about him in a couple seconds when I do my plugs. We got a dog who I loved. He was like one of the first things I saw in the movie, and I'm like, hey, this movie's got dogs. We got some spiders. I got like 50 spider emojis. And one of them smoking a cigarette.
Nice.
And because he was trying to ask out Ashley. And it was weird. And she was like, I don't want to date you. Snowman and an axe because the little guy got his head cut off.
Right in the beginning.
And you know what? Good for him.
Yeah.
Because I think snowmen are a little cocky. Santa, because Santa's not showing up for this kid's house.
Yeah.
He's not
this
showing
kid's
up.
Definitely
He's
on the
getting
naughty
Krampus.
list.
Yeah, he's getting Krampus.
Yeah. Christmas tree, because it's
Yes.
Christmas.
Heck yeah.
And we're hurling ever so close to the holiday. That's all I got. But really, the only thing that mattered here was this cat emoji.
I have. Hold on one second.
You don't have your emojis ready. Look at
I'm almost done.
you.
5 minutes
got-
later.
I know.
Jesus.
I thought there was one.
Just edit this part out of the episode.
Sorry,
Yeah.
sorry guys.
He's just getting himself together.
I'm
God.
just. I got it.
cracking under
Okay,
pressure.
got it.
Look, I'm
All right.
struggling.
I got a spider.
Nice.
My God.
I got a pill for Garrett, and then a suicide letter.
Oh, there is one. Oh, wow.
So yeah. or Dr. Montgomery's
There you go.
character. Yeah.
Oh man.
So, but all right. Now let's get into plugs. Let's start off with Shane over there. What's up, brother?
What up? Plugs.
baby?
We have 3 Jacks Burger Bar.
Hell
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Where's that located?
Yeah, that's in Dunmore, Pennsylvania, on Drinker Street. We have.
What's the burger of the month, man?
Oh man, what month is it? December. It is the
gobbledygooker.
No, it's the Grinch now, dude.
Yeah, I know.
The
The
Grinch.
Grinch, yeah. Come on down and get your Grinch at 3 Jacks Burger Bars.
Get your
and then-
Grinch on.
Yeah, gingerbread burger.
Exactly.
Heck
And then
yeah.
when you're done, you can go right up the street to, I think it was the Hive Tattoo, but now it changed. But my boy John Cadwalder's up there tattooing right up on
Yeah.
Drinker Street here.
Oh, okay.
He's doing
Yeah.
really good work. Check him out on Facebook. And then plugs, yeah, I think that's really all we got. Well, that's all I got.
Yeah,
What do you got?
I have a FREAKQUELS podcast.
Yeah,
of
best
course.
around.
Heck
You know,
yeah.
make sure you check it out.
Yeah, pretty good.
It's all right. It's okay.
He's like, they're trying.
Yeah, they're trying. FREAKQUELSpodcast.com. You know, you could get a shirt or pint glass.
Yeah, pint
Yeah.
glass.
Pretty
You need your-
good.
Oh yeah.
Let's see what else is there. I mean, there's the Macaulay Culkin thing that's happening. Or well, when this comes out, it'll be done
It'll be
already.
over,
Yeah,
yeah.
it'll be over. But yeah, unplug New York.
Yeah, that was
Cause
fun.
yeah, that's fun.
We were just there yesterday, so.
Nice.
Yeah. Let me think. Plugs. I mean, plug.
School, you love school. Plug your
Oh.
school.
No, I don't
Okay,
like school.
okay.
Plug.
Your grandparents.
Yeah, my grandparents.
They're cool too.
Yeah.
Grandma and grandpa.
Yep.
All right.
It's kind of like a.
All right.
I
It's all
mean,
good.
yeah,
How
Five
about
Nights
you?
at Freddy's.
Fortnite.
Five Nights at Freddy, Fortnite.
Fortnite.
I got some plugs.
All right. Yeah. Let's hear him.
Ravenview Productions is a film production company that's being built from the ground up. It's
What
how
are some of the
you
projects from that Ravenview
got the
Productions?
Burden of Beauty, this little movie that took the country by storm.
Yeah.
It stars EJ Leeson over here.
and
And we got Shane over here doing booming
He
sound
did some
and
sound,
sound.
man.
Yeah, did
And
some
I
sound.
made
some boom
people
sounds.
coffee.
Yep.
He did. He
He
actually
was there
hurled
in
coffee
spirit.
at us.
Yeah.
Um,
I think he's in the credit. I think his name's in the credit.
Yeah,
is it
yeah,
not?
it's
I
in there.
kept throwing
Rock and roll.
snowballs at the actors.
As you
He
should.
did.
Yeah, you had to
So you have an
escort
IMDb
me
credit.
out.
he does technically.
oh my
You
god,
can see
that's
Leo
amazing.
on there.
You had to
Hell
escort
yeah.
me out. I
He
remember.
did. Yeah, it was hard because the actors were trying to perform and he kept tossing hot coffee in their face.
It
Like,
helped
you need
us.
some coffee?
It did.
No, okay.
See, like I asked him to do it, so it's really my fault. I was
Yeah.
just like, hey,
You
when they
paid
look
me
like
to
they're in
do
the
it.
zone, can you scald them?
Yeah, I remember Chris Lou being like, "What's my motivation?" And you're like, "Leo."
Motivation, Leo, get him.
There's plenty more where that came from.
I was like, "I'm motivated. I'm motivated."
I don't want to be
Stick it up.
motivated anymore.
Stick it up your trap.
But yeah, Ravenview Productions. It's how you get to listen to this podcast.
Yeah,
That's where
yeah.
it comes from. Comes from Ravenview Productions. Fourth Cut Review. Our buddy who is
Chris
a keyboard
Conforti.
warrior extraordinaire. He does reviews and does videos and does other things. He does lots of things.
Does he
Porn.
Some of it's filthy porn.
Does he do the music in the intro?
No, that was that guy.
I
he
yeah.
Yeah,
It's really good music.
yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
Thanks,
Yeah,
buddy.
he does an awesome
I like
job.
it, Yeah.
Yeah. All the Christmas theme and
Yeah.
the regular.
Yeah, we're gonna cut this out. I don't want people complimenting.
Yeah,
him on
don't
the
give
show.
me a compliment.
Yeah, just
I don't get them.
that's actually one thing I'm very specific about. I don't want him happy. Varying
Make 'em
season.
miserable.
Varying season as our buddy Will Perna's band.
Right?
He does this amazing rock music you can look up on Facebook, and you can also see on YouTube, and you can just find their music wherever you listen to your music.
Hell yeah.
Whatever rock music you're listening to right now, it's probably not as good. Look them up. Gravy Diggers, the pot pie that you're likely not to survive.
No way.
Yeah, it's a true story. Swartz Dreamboat, our
Comedic genius
yeah,
friend.
yeah, the comedic genius. It's sort of like
Perfect.
just he's right under your nose, and you're not. You gotta look him up, follow him. He's just constantly posting stuff, and it's hilarious, and it's also very creative. Real Chronicles is our buddy Dave Gonzalez, friend of the show. This is a podcast that he puts out on a weekly basis. You can hear me on there sometimes, unless you're really tired of listening to me talk about movies. In which case, don't.
No
but
one
you should.
cares.
Yeah, no one cares anymore. I'm old. I'm old news. But yeah, you can also
60
find him under
episodes.
the cinematic reel, and you can also find his work on RottenTomatoes.com. And then finally, the most important thing, kitties of any PA, pet rescue. It's very cold out there, America, and there are these adorable cats that are looking for a home that could be your home. So if you would like to go out and maybe adopt one of these cats, I can tell you from personal experience, I'm not the kind of guy that's going to try to sell you on something that I don't do myself.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be like, go adopt the cat from Kitties of any PA Pet Rescue without having done it myself.
You lead by example.
I do. I don't just, you know what I mean? I'm not one of those people that's like, oh, why don't you do the dollar shave and they don't use it.
Right.
I personally have a cat from Kitties of any PA Pet Rescue. Her name is Ella, and she is a godsend, is how you would describe her. She's adorable. She's very soft. She's getting softer as the days go by, and she's got big old eyes. But you
I
can.
think she's a deity.
She is. She is. She can
She's
see.
like this goddess.
Yeah, she really is. And her best friend Pumpkin, they make my life better. So you should definitely adopt some cats. Get some if you want to just help out and help them get some food. You can donate, some money, your time. You can get them some blankets,
Supplies.
whatever you want to
Yeah.
do. Just do it for the cats. They
Yeah.
do. They need lots of them. Says Leo. He knows.
And do that right meow.
From meow.
Yeah. What's up?
All right.
Meow,
I
meow.
have a couple plugs. Of course, check out Adam Farley's music on Spotify, iTunes. Same with Chris Alou. You can check out his music. Songs from the Hallway is his EP. You can check that out. Make sure
Hey,
to check out Carson's
what cats
song.
love?
Oh,
Chris's music.
Kenneth?
music.
Sorry.
I like it.
I'm so sorry.
Also, check out New Metal Messiah, Jon Snow.
Messiah, Jon Snow.
Check out the Eastern Tribute Collective on Facebook. You can check out their website, find out any upcoming shows, and trust me when I say they will rock your socks off. Jon Snow has that ability.
You'll have socks on when you get there.
He'll rock
When
you
you
like a
leave,
hurricane.
they'll be gone, and you didn't know they left.
Yeah.
Right. You should just double up on socks when you go to see
Yeah.
the show.
Your socks will end up hooking up with groupies.
Yeah, it's really, it turns into like a weird sock kind of get together.
Yeah.
They're like swingers in a way.
If you like your socks, then this might sock for you, but
Yeah.
Did you ever see Drake and Josh any of the episodes?
oh yeah, Beck
Yeah.
had me watch some.
Yeah,
I don't
so
hate it.
there's this one episode where they're on a roller coaster called the Demonator,
Uh-huh.
and they go on and it's really crazy, and then they get off and their hair is frizzy, and it's Josh, that was sick. That's what you'll feel like after seeing Jon Snow.
See,
Yeah.
what he just said.
Hell,
What
that
Leo just
captured.
said.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the
is-
essence
Yeah.
of Jon Snow.
Um,
I'm sure somewhere in the world he just shuddered.
yeah.
Because somebody got into his soul.
Yeah, and Jon Snow right now is like, ugh, I feel like someone just walked over.
Whoa, someone understands me.
Yeah, I connected.
It's connected with somebody. I felt it.
But yeah, then also check out Elle Snow. She's in an upcoming production of Shakespeare's very Scottish play, and she is going to crush it as she always does. She's a phenomenal actress. Just one of the most creative people that we probably know.
Yeah. She was made in a lab too, which is really cool.
Yeah, which is like
A lot of them are.
yeah.
Most
She
people-
had like a Captain America origin.
She did.
I remember her telling me that they juiced her up,
Yeah.
and then immediately people broke into the lab and killed everybody. Yeah.
Yeah.
And she chased them down in the streets.
Everyone
with a
knows it,
shield.
EJ. You don't have to
Yeah,
tell them.
yeah.
We all know.
Captain America is literally based off of Elle
Yeah.
Snow. I'm pretty sure. But please check her out. She's amazing. Of course, Three Jacks, the Grinch. You get that burger, you'll grow 3 sizes.
You don't need no super soldier formula. Just get a Grinch.
Get a Grinch.
Get it ground down into a paste and just shoot it into your heart.
Yeah. Just like turkey based.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, man.
But anyways, check out Three Jacks Burger Bar. It's one of the best places to pick up a burger. It's amazing. And it's our headquarters, basically, for Freakquels.
It's raining out, and we're just in Three Jacks Burger Bar, the best place to be.
Yeah.
Yep. And so come down and check that out. And then also check out Comics on the Green. Get all your cool comics there. That's a local place in Scranton. And what am I missing?
Da Vinci.
Okay. So Mike Vinci created our website. Like, he hooked us up and did our website. And you have to check out his stuff. If you want, like, an awesome website or are creating a new business and you want to have, like, that electric voice or, like, footprint, right?
And a creator who kisses and doesn't tell.
Right. Go to Mike Vinci, Shantytown Design, and he will hook you up and make some of the coolest stuff.
Yeah, what he said.
Yeah, it's amazing. What he did for the Freakquels website is like awesome. So thanks to Mike Vinci, who's always doing it and doing it well.
Doing it.
And make sure to check out freakquelspodcast.com. That's our website, and you could check out our episodes are there. We have pictures there. We have merchandise, like if you want a Freakquels hoodie or a shirt or some glassware, mugs, a Gravy Diggers plastic wrap thing. I'm pretty sure it's just like cut up plastic that Matt Rinaldi gave it to us. Yeah.
Some old stag films we got there.
Yeah. No, but check that out. And if you have any like questions or movies you want to hear us cover, throw out some suggestions. Yeah. We have an email too, which is freakquelpodcast.com, and you at gmail.com, right? Is it? Or is it
at gmail.com?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
freakquelpodcast at gmail.com.
Yeah. You could email us there, or if you just go to the website, freakquelspodcast.com, you could email us there. There's a little section that you could fill out. And if you have like suggestions or recommendations or like, hey, could you bring this guest back because they were great? You could do that. Or email, like, if you have any concerns about Rory. Whatever, or concerns over young Vince because we don't know where he is.
Where'd he go? He's missing.
He was kidnapped.
Yeah,
they gave us a ransom we weren't willing to pay.
By the skeleton.
$20.
Yeah, we were like, nah, it's a little steep.
I was like, I'll file this in the special cabinet.
Yeah,
just threw it in the garbage.
1 penny.
Penny. I feel like I might need that.
And then 5 minutes later, he's like, "Okay, I'll give you back. Give him back for free."
Just take him back. Yeah.
That's a little steep.
That's a little steep. We don't got cash for this.
So take him back, and here's a 20.
But with all that being said, thank you to our guests, Leo and Shane. Thank you guys for coming back. Fan favorites.
Thank you guys.
Yeah.
Welcome back.
All right. Hell yeah.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, you guys always bring it, and thanks for bringing this movie to the podcast for us to cover because it was awesome. Yeah. And thank you to all you listeners at home for coming in every week, checking out, sharing our podcast, telling your friends about it. So, yeah, thank you guys so much. And with that being said, thank you for listening to
Freakquels.
Freakquels. Well, gee golly, Freakquels.